welcome back. Today we've got another ink review video. This is called Turquoise. It's by Diamine, and we're going to do a swatch card of this. One of the reasons I grabbed this color is because there's always turquoise and teal inks, and I don't know the difference between turquoise and teal as far as what that means from like an art supplies and ink perspective. You know, if something says this color is teal or this color is turquoise, I have found that very often the colors are almost the same, and sometimes they are the same, and it just depends on the person who is maybe naming it or reviewing it or whatever. And unfortunately that means that I don't know the difference, so there may not be a definite definition, and maybe there is, I don't know. If you have any thoughts on that, definitely let me know down below. It might be that I'm just ignorant. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. I was like, why am I trying to draw a T? There's no T in Diamine. Okay, so I am going to set this aside to dry under the fan so that it'll be ready when we get to the end of the video. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So we're going to try this out on some copy paper first, and I like to let people know whether or not this is going to look good on copy paper, because sometimes that's all you have handy. Maybe at work or school or something you don't have access to your fancy papers, and you just want to know if this is going to work so you know whether or not to buy this bottle or to put it in your pen. So I am going to test this out on copy paper first, and then we will try some nicer papers. Okay, set that aside. I'll move this out of my way real quick. I keep thinking I'm going to knock it over. Alright, this paper is HP 32, and it's another type of copy paper, but it's much nicer because it has a nice, like a smooth coating on the top. So you get a better writing experience, but you also get better performance from the ink, because the ink tends to like pool on top before it dries, and that seems to give a better effect, like the ink just looks better. Alright, HP 32. And if there's any other colors that you'd like to see me review, just leave a comment down below, and if I have that one or if I can get it, then we'll do a video on it. Alright, so far this looks fine on the copy paper, so you could use this on copy paper, no issues. It's a very pretty color, but there's really nothing else going on. There's no special effects or anything. On the HP 32 though, once you compare like the two swatches, you could tell that the depth of color on this is much nicer. There's definitely some shading, and it looks crisper and cleaner. It just looks nicer on this paper. So that's just those two compared, and it's not even fully dry yet. This is the Tomo River. And Tomo River paper, if you've never used it before, also has a very nice smooth surface. Most inks that I've tested have looked the best on Tomo River, so it's a really good paper to get if you want to see all the special effects of the different inks, especially if you're seeking out like sheens and other super fancy inks. Tomo River. Okay. But it is a little bit more expensive, which is why I show how the ink looks on the HP 32, because that's usually a pretty good in-between option. Better than copy paper, not as good as the Tomo River. And so far this color is really pretty. It's almost like a, let's see, it'd be silly to use another stone, but like almost like a sapphire blue or something. Let's see. Very rich, very pretty color. There's definitely some shading, and it's a little bit more pronounced on this paper. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go check the swatch and see if it's dry. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So now that this has had time to dry, you can see there is a little bit of a darker color edging some of the places where the ink has pooled. It's very, very pretty. And then here's the swatch card. And this is so pretty. So there's no like shimmers or sheen or anything like that, but there is a shading here. And it comes out again in the writing. Very, very pretty. And this ribbony effect, like the halo shading around here. This is a beautiful blue. This looks very watery to me, like a very aquatic shade of blue. But I don't know how companies come up with the names for their inks, and it may be actually just that the way I perceive color maybe is different from how they perceive the color when they made it. So, but this looks to me very close to like a darker version of like a sky blue maybe, but it's very, very pretty. And we can compare the three different, let's compare these real quick together just so you can kind of see. So the difference between the copy paper, the HP32, and the Tomo River. This is just like, this is already better than the copy paper, and then the depth of color that you can see in here is just a little bit better than the HP32. But you got this beautiful shading going on, and this is such a lovely blue. If you want a nice blue that would be considered work safe, but it's a little bit different, and it's got some nice shading and everything, this would be a very good one to try. So highly recommend this one. And if you like what you're watching, go ahead and click like and subscribe to see more. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.